this is something to say. Right now, we're standing in Chester, Pennsylvania, which is one of the oldest cities in the United States of America. Got a train going by. We'll start again. But this is something to say. And I'm Gamariyahu Ben Yehuda. And we're standing in Memorial Park, which is in Chester, Pennsylvania, one of the oldest cities in the United States. As the historical record has it, William Penn, for whom the state of Pennsylvania is named, he actually landed in Chester, Pennsylvania. He did not land in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, although Penn's Landing is in Philadelphia. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about this Holy Spirit, this indomitable force of a man who came in the midst of us and blessed us and gave us so much. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, a preacher who was the son of a preacher, yet he was so much more. Yet, as I stand here today, the year is 2013, you would be hard-pressed other than an outright bigot, outright racist, outright idiot fool who does not love, respect, and revere the accomplishments and the contributions of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. However, what I would like for you to know, and we'll revisit the subject of the Civil Rights Movement and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on several occasions. However, for today, what I'd like you to understand is that during the time that Dr. King preached, taught, moved, and helped to rebuild the pride, the soul of our people, everybody did not love Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, if you would reference the letter from a Birmingham jail, which he wrote, the letter from a Birmingham jail was actually written to other members, other Christian members of the Baptist segment. It was not written everybody did not love Dr. King as they purport to today. So, what you have to understand is that the letter from the Birmingham jail was actually written to, well, it was written from the Birmingham jail, first of all, scrolled on the outside margins of a newspaper so that Dr. King could respond to all of the criticism that he was getting. Because during the time that Dr. King moved, there were other people in his organization, there were other black people, there were other people in the South, other black people in the North, there were other people all over who could find everything and every reason why what Dr. King was saying was wrong. There were some who said that he was stirring up trouble because although African Americans found themselves to be the victims of racism and disenfranchisement all throughout the United States, at least things seem to be calm. However, one of the teachings that we bring from the Institute for a New Humanity is that the absent, and well, we have to quote Dr. King when we say this. Dr. King said that the absence of justice can never be peace. I'm misquoting him, but what he said was in that vein. This is straight off the cuff, right off, he's shooting from the hip. So the desire is just to do my best to try to impart to you the spirit of this knowledge, wisdom, truth, and understanding that we've been given. However, to return to the point of what we're saying is that during the time that Dr. King moved, that everyone did not love Dr. King. There were those who said that what he was doing was stirring up trouble, that he would cause innocent folks to be harmed as a result of seeking the justice that he was seeking at that time. I'll give you a very pertinent, a very dear example that's close to my heart, because during the time that the events took place in Birmingham, well, my mother and my father, they both happened to be living in Birmingham. They were much younger at the time. Now, both of my parents come from families where they had siblings numbering over 10. Now, they were told to stay away. Some of them were obedient. Some of them were not. So, I'm just trying to give you a sense for how divisive fighting for freedom can be. But one thing that I want you to know today is that although there seems to be a love fest where Dr. King is concerned, everyone did not love Dr. King, and there were many black folk, not just racists or people in Klan hoods and things like that. There were many people who disagreed with Dr. King and felt that his methods were improper, that they were incorrect, all of that. So just for those students of history seeking to receive and to absorb a true perspective on things, because that's why we're here. We've got to teach, talk, and tell the truth. And the truth is that for those likened unto Dr. King in this day and time, there will be those who will say that what you're doing is incorrect, brother, that the method at which you're approaching this may be improper. And standing as one who has stood in that fiery furnace and in the midst of a people who have stood in that fiery furnace, I want to send all support and prayers and just words of encouragement to all those of you seeking truth and seeking to live by the truth out there, that wait for the noise to pass over. But we just want to send a word of encouragement to all of you who may feel like what you're doing is in harmony with what the Creator would have you to do. Okay? So, we give all honor, praises, and thanks to the omnipotent God of creation for sending deliverers such as Dr. King in the midst of us. But he was not the only one. And he will not be the only one. And he is not the only one as we stand here today. Because the earnest cries of the people, they echo in heaven. And just as surely when the voice of the people is heard, you are listening to the voice of God. And God would be unjust for the people to desire to be free and he not send them a deliverer. So at this point in time, once again, we want to remember Dr. King and just say that although during that time everyone didn't love him, we love him today. We loved him then, and we thank the omnipotent God of creation for sending his brother in our midst. I'm your host, Mariam Ben Yehuda, and we've got something to say. And hopefully these words will be received by you in the exact same spirit of sincerity which they are being expressed at this time. We're just doing our best here to try to teach, talk, and tell the truth.